What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, we got to talk about this Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition. It seems very real. This is now the second rumor, right? Kind of stacking on top of the first. Coming from Tom Henderson, I mean, who else do you want it to come from? This guy's legit. I absolutely believe everything he says, really, about almost any game, and I definitely believe it here. So now it's more of like, when is this going to happen? Almost kind of bracing ourselves and getting ready for it versus like, will it ever happen, right? Is it even a real thing that's being made? I believe it definitely is, right? You could talk about, and we will in this video, the necessary, nature of it, but let's read through his article. So, exclusive Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is in development. Insider Gaming understands that a Hogwarts Legacy Definitive Edition is in development. Its content will be sold as a separate DLC for those with the existing game. The Definitive Edition is said to have around 10 to 15 hours of additional content with a new story quest, side quest, activities, and outfits. Details on when the edition and or the DLC will be released and its price are still in flux. Still, some sources have suggested that it could be released in 2025 to bolster WB's diminishing gaming revenue following the weak performance of Suicide Squad. It's been suggested that the DLC will cost between $20 and $30. And there you go. There it is. So what I want to say, just a couple things off the top of my head. Number one, and I said this on Twitter, I still don't know, how necessary it is. And don't get it confused for excitement or want for it. Like, look, I will get this the second it comes out, right? I mean, I will be there day one making videos like this in the lead up. Like, I'll be back, you know what I mean? I'm not saying it from that angle. What I am saying it, from the angle of is, like, is it necessary for the studio to put the resources towards it, right? My biggest fear, and I've already actually seen people talk about this on Twitter. I'm quite proud of people because I've been saying this kind of forever. My only fear is that, when you do something like this, what are you sacrificing in its place? And what I mean by that is a Hogwarts Legacy 2. Now, I'm not saying you wouldn't have a Hogwarts Legacy 2. In fact, we've heard from them a sequel to this game is like priority number one for WB, right? The highest of the high executives have talked about that. So I don't doubt that there will be, or will or won't be, a sequel for Hogwarts Legacy. But, you put in, this sounds meaty. And again, I would put that as a pro, right? This isn't some 2-hour thing. This is 10 to 15 freaking hours. So you're putting a lot of time and effort into it, but are you pushing in any way Hogwarts Legacy 2? So, if Hogwarts Legacy 2 is, say, going to be 2028 or so, does having this come out push it to 2029? Does it push it like an additional year? Now, you don't know, and maybe we'll find out eventually. The answer could be no. It sounds like they've got more studios working on it than just Avalanche, right? We heard from Jason Schreier a while ago that obviously Rocksteady, right? That part of their team was going to be working on it as well. We know like Monolith tends to help out a little bit. WB Montreal really helps out pretty much every single team out there. Maybe like an Unbroken studio who does a Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. They helped with Suicide Squad. They're kind of a helping studio as well. So I wouldn't be shocked if they got help. You know what I mean? So maybe it doesn't push anything back. That's my biggest flaw. That's my biggest worry or weakness or whatever you want to call it. And that's pretty much it. Like, beyond that, it coming out 2 years after is a little bit odd. I'd prefer, it to be like less than 2 years. But, I'll take what I get. It sounds cool. It sounds meaty. I mean, this sounds like an Icky Island. This sounds like, some of these bigger director's cuts that have like the actual DLC. Honestly, I mean, I was going to say Shadow of the Erdtree is something that I think of in terms of maybe kind of being separate and being, $30, $40, just being like 20, 30. It reminds me of it to a degree, to a big game, right? Like this expansion pass, basically. But maybe it's, Shadow of the Erdtree is probably bigger than what this is going to be, but this isn't small by any means, right? So, yeah, I am pumped, and it's almost like, okay, well, where do they go from here, right? Because you got like a story, so there's gonna be like a new, probably very, very short story. It's gotta be, I imagine, the summer, right? Like after you defeat Ranrock and all of them, and you win the House Cup and all that jazz. Once that ends, maybe it takes place over that summer, and I'd be interested to see like where does it go? Does it end teasing the next one for this character and this group of characters, or do we go like the anthology route, we've kind of speculated on? So that's one, the side quests and stuff. You imagine activities like is it too early to petition again for like Wizard's Chess? Because if you're going to do activities, a couple activities, there's a couple mini games basically in it that I think are actually pretty fun. Can you add Wizard's Chess to it? So there's a couple things here and there that I think could be added that would make it really, really special. But, regardless, it's going to be big. This is, while it might not be the size of like a Shadow of the Erdtree, I think what it would do to the game is relatively the same, right? Like it sold so unbelievably well, right? 20 plus million units and all that jazz, probably more, 25 plus. And so for this, you're not going to get nearly that much. You're probably looking at somewhere between like 3 to 6 million, which is still better than most video games that release. That's the insane part, right? It's still going to be a big deal. It's still going to help continue to sell copies of Hogwarts Legacy. It's going to make them an extra, couple hundreds of millions of dollars, to be honest with you, right? It's from all of those perspectives, it's a good idea. The only bad idea is, it's so long after the game has come out. You probably would have wanted to be sooner, but again, you take what you get, I guess. And does this impact in any way what the future of Hogwarts is in terms of, again, like taking longer than we think it might take? So you let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.